Hi, this is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here. This is just a short video as an introduction to my new style, my new podcast. This is an introduction to my October readings, because many of you were of two minds asking me, well, we like to see the video because we like to see the cards. And those of you who wrote in saying that the podcast, you preferred the podcast, said, well, it really makes me listen more carefully. And I have to say, I too am of two minds, because I do like to show the cards. I really do. But I can't deny that I really have a strong sense of connection when I turn off the video and when I use my voice and just listen. So in this intro, well, first of all, let me show you this. I'm doing this because a colleague of mine, well, a friend of mine said, oh, that warlock, that marionette, it just is the creepiest thing, but it's harmless. It's a true marionette. And I just wanted to show it to you so you don't get freaked out by it. This was, it's a handmade marionette, and I got this at the airport. You know how you're waiting on to board, and right next into the corner there was a shop that had all handmade marionettes, and it was so cute. Look at that hat. Look at that hat. So cute, so cute. And so, I just brought it here to make you see with me, so just relax. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is that I'm going to show you the deck of cards that I'll be using. So when I call on you and ask you to, even though I do them in a pre-recorded way, I'm going to channel and listen to the energies that I get from each individual sign. So let me first tell you that I'll be using the runes. I'll be starting with the runes casting. And I'll be using these tiger eyes runes because you can see them. The etching is fairly clear, and for me to see, when I usually read, it's usually dark, and so I like to be able to see them. And I'll be using those first. You'll hear them in the podcast. Then I have three different decks to use. The first is the Voodoo Tarot deck that I've used before. You've known that. This is the 14th Major Arcana, we can call that. Thibonage, the 20th Major Arcana, the Ancestors, just to give you a few. 0, the World Egg, and so on. Then we have a Santeria 2 card, Olofi, just to give you a few of the cards, just to give you an idea, but you know these more than the other two decks. And the next deck is the Tarot of Muja, de la Muja, who is an artist. And just to give you an idea of what they look like, this is the 11th card. What could that be? Justice. You can see that maybe the 11th Major Arcana, that's Justice. This is who do we have here? The Emperor. Oops, the Emperor. Here we have the Hermit. Lovely cards, lovely cards. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let me put these away and show you another deck, which is the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And I've used this twice, 2 other times. This is the 9 of Cups. This is the version of the 9 of Cups. Whoa, the foot of my marionette has fallen. This is the High Priestess. High Priestess. This is the Magician. Let me see if I could get it better. Oh, the closer, the farther away I get it from the light, there it is, the better it is. And this is our Knight of Swords. Get a load of that, our Knight of Swords. There you are. Okay, so, but another reason why I wanted to give an introduction is that I wanted to thank a colleague, a fellow reader, for having sent me a person to work with. Thank you, Lou, Louisiana Lou. Why am I thanking her? The main reason is that it gave me the opportunity to fine-tune what I was doing. It was a particular case, and it made me able to speak about it and to give you, my experience with this person and to tell you how I work. So I thought it would clarify a lot of things. So in short, the person was looking for initially a black witch or a warlock, someone who could fight fire with fire in terms of black magic. Now, well, this is an expression in English, fight fire with fire, get the same intensity, because he felt that he was an object of black magic. Now, the person was looking for that, but then he came to me and I asked him to tell me what the story was about. And I was taking notes, and he told me that for decades he has been targeted with black magic. And I wanted, in some way, I invited him for a consultation, okay, to understand. And he prefaced the introduction of this whole story with a series of admonishments, of warnings, telling me that he had been to many other people before me, and none of them wanted to work with him because each one individually had suffered some kind of flash of negative energy towards them directly. One was threatened, her life was threatened, another fell ill with a serious illness for an extremely long time. And I let him talk. Like I said, I took notes, I asked my questions, and then I explained to him how I worked. Now, what I will explain to you is my form of white magic. Okay, we could call it white magic, but I just want to say that we can change the words around. It's all the same, just like any field, physics, linguistics. People have, and groups of people that work together have different ways of calling things, and in different countries they call the same phenomenon with another lexical item, all right? So, but what I want to say is that this is a form of white magic. It's a service that I provide and that I've listed on my website. First and foremost, I told him my diagnosis, that what he was experiencing was only one of many, far many other more serious blocks and restrictions that could be ailing him. And I started asking him a number of questions, but then I hit him with the fundamental question. What is your intention? What do you want to achieve by coming to me? And what he said was this: I want two things. One, I want to unmask the largest pedophile ring in the Northern Hemisphere. And two, I want to be able to receive adequate medical care, because in his country, in Ireland, he was negated that for several different reasons. Okay, I won't go into the political side to it now. And with that, having heard that, with those objectives, it put me in a position of being able to then do my magic, eliminating any negative influences on him, stopping him from achieving those goals. How? I was able to cut bonds, contracts, curses, and remove curses and vows, spells, anything, you name it, that were affecting him directly. The list is endless. Affecting him directly, and as a consequence, it would block the negative energy affecting him, and it would not target but contain those people, he listed names, first and last names, that were manipulating him throughout the decades. These people represent members of the clergy, solicitors, barristers, and politicians in that country. Now, one important thing is that there was no fear. I never, ever operate with fear. If I have to be fearful, I just say no. It's not a moment when I can work. The process was reversed, is reversed, because their initial energetic dealings and workings, or if we want to call it magic, were halted But we had, of course, this person who was in a wheelchair, who was dying, and ultimately was powerless, disempowered completely. And one thing then leads to another, and you get the press, you get someone to help you out, physicians to, okay, so it's a series of things that then change. Now, this is just to give you an idea of what how I work. Fundamental is not, and this is a suggestion for all other readers, all other energy workers, light workers, never work if you are fearful. And there's something that when someone comes to me, and I have seen a lot of different cases, okay? When I decide if I can work with you, and this is determined by a series of parameters linked to the nature of your soul, I never have to decide if I'm conditioned by fear or any other, or because it will create repercussions. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to say that. And thanks again, Lou. I appreciate that. Now off to the readings. Bye-bye. Hi, Cancer. This is Christelle Martinette. And although I had that introduction where I said it was much better for me to read with using a podcast style, what happened while I was preparing these videos is that my program for the audio crashed, and I got in touch with the assistants and contacted the technicians, but it has to do with upgrading my program on the Mac, Sierra, and they don't interact, so I have to wait till they correct that. And so I'm back in the video for some of these here. So let me see what the runes can tell you, Cancer, for the month of October. Nice, nice casting, my God, my Lord. Can we say that on YouTube? Okay, I'm confirming. I'm not sure if it was you, but I think so, this last eclipse. I'm confirming that you are in the right place and you don't need to go. There's no need for you to move any more forward, Cancer, because you need to work right where you are. Success is yours. I have the runes Sohilo and Tyr, one next to the other as a foundation, and it starts with Diag. I can't tell you that the transformative nature of what you are going through now is so lovely, so lovely, and so strong. I'm going to give you a little bit of food for thought here, because I'm trying to get out of the shadows. Because what I'm seeing is that your intuition seems to be your greatest ally in this moment for the month of October, because you're starting to understand yourself a bit more. And okay, we're none of us, there are a lot of us out there that are not spring chickens anymore, but you can side with me when I say that it always seems to be the first time. Sometimes you do something and eureka, you understand finally, and you think, oh my God, do I have to find out at the age of 80 that I was making all those mistakes? Must I find out at the age of 90, or must I find out at the age of 60 or 50 or 40? Why couldn't I know that when I was 20 years old? But it's not only now, it's not only today that these eurekas, these aha moments are going to follow you in your life. It happens every every moment of your waking life. There is learning. There's a learning process. And what has changed with respect to you is that now is the moment that you're just starting to understand as well. This is a very important learning moment for you. And what's interesting is that the runes are saying how important it is for you to use the insight in order for you to distinguish yourself further and interact with others. But you don't even have to go so far in interacting with others. You don't have to go out of your way, because they're going to come to you, because there's going to be sort of an attraction with this learning process. This is what they're saying. And what's interesting to see is how you come into your own, how you really become more Cancer, more you. Lovely, really beautiful, starting with Daig, Sohilo, and Tyr, just, a chevron that it makes for an arrow of success, where you finally understand that where you are is the best place in the world, because you have been having misgivings of late, thinking, well, I'm stuck in this area. I should change my residence. I should get out of this house. I should get out of these dumps. You're thinking sometimes, if I had lived in, or were I a citizen of this country, or had I lived in the big city, I could. That's going to fade away, those thoughts, because you're going to start being happier, much, much happier, because you're going to start loving yourself. And accepting yourself is what it's all about. Now, take a moment to concentrate on these 3 tarot decks, the Muja Tarot, the Sexual Magic, and the Voodoo Tarot. Let me see what I find. I have the Muja and the Voodoo. Okay, I'm going to mix these cards. Okay. Yes, it's the interesting message that the Muja are preparing to say. Of course, it interacts with the other cards, so I'll read them all together. But what I'm starting to see here is that there's strength in changing a perspective, and there is happiness that comes to you and abundance that comes to you in changing the way you conceive of things around you and of yourself, how you consider you are within your context. You're giving, you're taking a very hard look at yourself, and you're dusting yourself off, and you're picking yourself up and saying, wow, I ain't that bad, And there's going to be a lot of celebration around that thought. And my whole deck is upside down, so okay. A lot of celebration around that idea, but also a lot of new beginnings around that idea. You seem to think that you're coming into your own truth, as if you're understanding your own truth for the first time, and you conceive of that as being a true beginning. Also, this idea of seeing yourself in a different light has been made possible because of the interaction that you have with other people on an interpersonal basis. Now, I'm not talking work, I'm not talking romance, but I will, clarify that later with the Vera Sibila, but it is a thanks to this interaction and how you conceive of yourself through the eyes of other people as well. And what is interesting, very, very interesting to see, is that it seems that you are starting to view life through rose-colored glasses. And as you do, it seems, a process that's so suave, so smooth in the development. As you look around, you're starting to like what you see, almost as if you had on rose-colored glasses. And in the moment that you do that, it seems that things just start going your way. Incredible dynamism. And, the dynamics are incredible here. And what you do by way of celebration is not, living it up with the champagne and seeking out your friends. You take every opportunity to be able to celebrate. And that celebration comes in different forms in various different forms. But what I see here is that the celebration also takes many shapes, not only forms, shapes and levels. You celebrate with those people who you would never even give the time of day to, and then you go seek out those bosses that you hate and, don't usually talk to, but then say, come on, let's go have a drink, or let's, have a cup of coffee, it's on me, so you're changing. There's a fundamental change that's beginning the month of October for you. There's strength in merriment. This is what I'm seeing here. There's strength in merriment, and there's strength in communicating the merriment. It comes back to you. Now I'm going to use some of the Vera Sibilla cards to see what more I can glean from this spread. I'm going to see this. There's a King of Swords here that I'd like to take a look at. Okay. Yeah, we talked about a new truth, your own truth. Here we have the Doctor, Dottore, Superbia, and Fanciulla, the Giovane Fanciulla, the Virgin of the deck, and Superbia, Vanity, and the Doctor. It's as if you're cutting through all of the BS in your life, and you're coming up, and that's the word, coming up. You're coming up. And you're doing it in a way that goes far beyond any other way of acting that you have experienced in the past. And it's new for you. But you are indeed showing a different side to yourself, a different color, a different way of opposing, a different footing that you're having. And this is not going to be lost on those people around you. What has been the cancer of the sadness cancer of the past is on, his kicking up his or her heels. This is a new man and woman here. This is a new you. Very nice to see. I'm going to take a look here at the Hanged Man. Let's take a look at that card, lovely card. Let's see. Okay. And there's legit, it's a lightness, l'amante, the female, l'amatrice, and fedeltà, fidelity. And it can, this new perspective can indeed involve romance. I'm not reading this as romance, however, for most of us, for most of you, Gemini. I have very little Gemini in my, I think there is something on my chart, but it's not an us, really collective. There's something here that doesn't span from, as far as I'm reading it, the romance department. It has to do with how faithful you are to your own ideals and how strong they were in the past, but how different they'll seem to you now. Nonetheless, it's just a different take on the same old Cancer, because it is the same old Cancer. A more loving person emerges in all senses of the word. I'm going to take now the Sibilla cards on the ancestors. There's an ancestors card here. Ancestors, the major arcana. All right, messengers. Messaggero, Belvedere, and Artista here. Okay, now, there is a certain amount of, okay, we could call it coming full circle. there's an expression in Italian, everything must change in order for it to remain the same. And this is an expression that really can be the definition of the spread for you the month of October. You're changing and changing to remain the same. And what you do, because ancestors, what do? They talk about our lineage, they talk about our past, they talk about the times that were. And whereas that never changes, what I'm seeing here is a series of fundamental inside basic changes for you that will keep you going for so long, because it's kicking off the beginning of a process that you're going to enact on a cyclical basis. And because you're seeing the fruit of your labor, you're seeing how people react to you, and that for you is fundamental, because you have not had that reaction in a long time from people. You've seen that people will react to you better. You see that you may be crying inside, but then somebody smiles and you come out of it. So there must be a reason for that. Okay, I'm going to look at the Radha Simbi card, 8. That's a lovely card. Look at these two animals, how beautiful they are. Okay, now, what they do say is, and the swans, well, there are actually 3 swans, but there is a third, and there are 2 below. Here, this is the reunion card, Riunione Mercante and Militare. Militaries, the military talks of strength. The military talks of silence, as does the Mercante. They don't give their secrets away. They don't ever speak too much and out of line. And the reunion card talks of you coming into that, going to revisit that side of you, that silent demeanor that you have, that you it's difficult for you to interact at times. You're going to revisit that, and the reunion really is a meeting of the minds, me, myself, and I, meeting myself in the mirror, having the tension between me and myself, and seeing what it is of me that makes me, and what it is about me that breaks me. And what can I change, and what can I not change, but maybe buffer, clean it, shine it, but be me nonetheless. I'm going here to the Santeria Yemaya, the 9 card. Here I have the Imeneo card, the intimacy, prigione, and the fortuna. Now, romance has indeed come up. It tried to with the Sibilla cards, but I didn't heed that. But what I'm seeing here is the relationship that you have had, the most important relationship in your life, be it the one you're currently in, be it if you're not in it, be it if it is from the past, but it still remains the most important relationship in your life, is and has and will always be the most important. The relationship that you're having with yourself now, if you're not partnered. But there's such a wealth of knowledge, of exchange, of gifts that you received from that person that you will never want to forget them. And it's not something you are going to be asked to do, but learn from the exchange with that relationship, what that meant to you, which is so important. I hope this was of help, Cancer friends, and jump on the bandwagon and follow me on Twitter. My address is there, my name is there, and for those of you who follow me, you'll be noticed by a program called Periscope when I go live, and I do that on a daily basis. I understand in Europe maybe it's not the same time in other places of the world, but sooner or later I'll be there. And what it helps you do is on your phone, you can visualize the video, and I'll be in real time talking live. And you just ask me questions, chatting, and I answer you by using my voice. I cannot write. I don't have the time to answer everyone who writes to me, unfortunately. But that is a way that I found that is very agile. It's easy for me to use. I hope you get to use it with me. Namaste, Cancer friends. Until we read together again. Bye-bye.